the 28th of July. That is the next date for the hearing. This comes just a day after the India Alliance led a Chakka Jam protest in Bihar, accusing the Election Commission of working at the behest of the BJP. Now, Rahul Gandhi has accused the Election Commission of plotting to rig the polls in Bihar, calling it a repeat of what happened during the Maharashtra elections. Albeit the difference being, in Maharashtra the allegation is voters were added surreptitiously. Here the allegation is in Bihar voters are going to be disenfranchised or deleted. The BJP has now taken a swipe at the opposition, saying that the ruling is a slap on their face, and the Election Commission meanwhile has once again highlighted the smooth progress of the special intensive revision process in Bihar itself. And that's the big news coming through right now. The EC has said, and I quote, by 6 p.m. today, that is the 10th of July, over 5.2 crore enumeration forms, which is 66.16% of the total 7.9 crore existing electors in Bihar, have been collected in the last 16 days since the issue of special intensive revision instructions on the 24th of June. The exercise of collecting enumeration forms could be completed well before the stipulated date of the 25th of July. Now, the debate is also around the inclusion of Aadhaar cards in the list of documents, but that has also been red flagged multiple times when it comes to proof of citizenship. Now, why Aadhaar can't be proof is because of some of these reasons. The Aadhaar targeted purpose is of welfare, reforms and people-centric governance. Date of birth based on submitted documents may not be verified. The Supreme Court ruled Aadhaar is a proof of identity, not age, address or citizenship. This is the Supreme Court's ruling itself. Multiple cases of forged cards, unauthorized sharing of biometric data have been reported. There are also reports of oversaturation of Aadhaar cards in several districts, especially in Bihar. Now, talking of oversaturation, let's look at 4 crucial districts in Bihar. These are border areas which are central to the opposition's campaign in the state too. Kishanganj district has a 68% Muslim population with a 126% Aadhaar saturation. Katihar has a 44% Muslim population with a 123% Aadhaar saturation. Araria has a 43% Muslim population with a 123% Aadhaar saturation. Purnia has a 38% Muslim population with a 121% Aadhaar saturation. So the takeaway is 120 Aadhaar cards for every 100 people in these districts. So, is there any Aadhaar for this entire furor is the larger question, because out of 11 petitioners in the Honorable Supreme Court, nobody demanded an interim stay. That's what the Supreme Court said. None of the petitioners want an interim stay. So what was this whole fight all about? Let's go across to our panelists. Sudhanshu Trivedi, Rajya Sabha MP and national spokesperson of the BJP, should be joining us any moment now. Rajat Sethi, political commentator with us. Ravi Shankar Ravi, spokesperson of the RJT, back with us here on the Hard Facts. And Waris Pathan, spokesperson of the AIMIM, also with us. My namaste and Jai Hind to everybody. Thank you for being here and joining us on this conversation. Waris Pathan, what is the Aadhaar for all this bawal? Please tell me.
Well, Anand, our party president, along with our delegations from Bihar, our party's MLA from Bihar and President Akhtar Iman, they also visited the election commissioner and they informed the election commissioner that see, SRI if you can conduct. But the way in which you started, you did not take into confidence any of the political parties before taking up this exercise. What about the voters? What about the citizenship? It's a big issue. We live in democracy and everybody has a right to vote. And the second thing was that the timing which was given by election commissioner, in 1 month you have to complete the exercise, which was totally impracticable. Not practicable at all. You cannot complete the exercise within some few time, because people from Bihar, they are migrating labor, they are migration laborers. They are working in Mumbai, Ahmedabad, everywhere. They don't have money to travel from Mumbai to Bihar. How will they prove the identity? And we said that Aadhaar card, which is a very important document that has to be taken into consideration. Why not the ration card? Why not the labor card? So today the Honorable Supreme Court, while hearing the petition filed by several people, have said that yes, Aadhaar, the election commissioner was taken into consideration the Aadhaar card, the voter ID and the ration card also. The Supreme Court also said that the election commissioner does not have a right to take up the citizenship or to declare the citizenship of any individual in Bihar. Secondly, the Supreme Court has also directed them to file a counter affidavit before the 21st, and now the matter is kept on 28th of July.
Correct.
So this is the things which the election commissioner should have taken into consideration. Anand, see, there are 15 to 20% voters are left out. Just 10 seconds and I'll complete. If 15 to 20%, 15 to 20% voters are left out and their citizenships are taken up, because see, if they don't have right to vote, they are not the citizen of this country. So what step would the government take to ensure that where will they be sent? If they are Bangladeshis or they are Rohingyas, so the responsibility to the government to take care of them. They should have stopped, because most of the bordering states are in control of the BJP. So it's the failure of the BJP which they want to impose upon the people of Bihar.
We'll ask this question.
We are against that. Yeah.
Okay, we'll ask this question of Sudhanshuji the moment he joins us. But this maybe and therefore, if and then and if and that is why, that's a supposition. This is a very classic leftist argument. I keep saying this, the same thing. Hamare historians also distorted, so-called historians also distorted history on this entire maybe and therefore, if and when and if and therefore. So let's not if 15 to 20% are wrong. Where is it? It's not happened. Let it happen in the first place. We just put out the data that nearly 66-67% of the enumeration forms have already been collected. Then there are those who are already listed in the 2003. Let me ask you, Waris Pathan. Asaduddin Owaisi ji belongs to Hyderabad. Telangana elections, 22 lakh voters were struck off the list. 5 lakh voters from Mr. Owaisi's constituency itself. Did he approach the Supreme Court then? Did he go and knock the doors and say voter disenfranchisement is happening?
See,
did he go and ask, raise the same did he raise the same questions? Oh, Telangana voters, there cannot be migrant voters. Telangana voters, 22 lakh people went at the time of the election. But then Mr. Owaisi won the election, right? At that time, in his own constituency, 5 lakh people. At that time, did he knock the Supreme Court?
Anand, here the question is, most of the media outlets are showing today that in Simanchal area, where the Muslim population is 60%, as well as the Hindu population is 40%, there's Aadhaar cards have increased more than the voters. Now, how did they get the data? UIDAI clearly says that this will be protected. Nobody has a right to put it before the media or prove before the court. So where do they get data from? So the target are Muslims. Targets are the minorities. Targets are the backward class, whom the BJP government does not want to allow them to vote. And this is the backdoor entry for the NRC.
No, are you saying that there are no Hindus in backward class?
Very, very clear.
No, are you saying there are no? Are you saying there are no Hindus in backward class? Are you saying there are no Jains, Christians, and Sikhs and non-Muslims as minorities in our country?
Target Simanchal.
No, the moment you say backward class, are there no Hindus in backward class?
Especially they spoke about Simanchal. And Aadhaar card was applicable in Patna, but not in Himachal. This also
this number is there. If the number of
reports we are reading from the media itself.
There is a reason they are not Muslims, sir. Don't, sir. मुल्क बड़ा के मजहब पहले आप मुझे बताइए. मुल्क बड़ा ना sir. So are Rohingyas and Bangladeshis, they may be Muslims. If they may be Muslims, but they are not from this country. No, I understand. I'm just saying, please, if they may be Muslims, sir, but if they are not from our country, should they vote in our electoral process? Should they be participating? These numbers have been highlighted of the border areas.
They have been voting since several years.
Sir, no. So does that make it right?
Fake voters.
Does that make it right?
They voted in 2024.
No, I am saying, are you okay with it? Are you okay with non-Indians, illegals getting documentation and participating in the electoral process? Do you not realize the impact of that, Mr. Waris Pathan? That even if there are 500 people who are illegals who vote in a particular constituency, and if the person who they vote for, the candidate wins, look at the kind of heft these illegals will have over the legal citizens of our country. It doesn't even matter whether what religion that they are. They will encroach. They will become parasites. They will encroach upon the land. They will encroach upon the jobs. They will encroach upon the administration. So these are issues which are there. I am not saying that all of them are illegals. No. I'm not saying that. Rajat Sethi,
allow me.
Rajat Sethi, genuine concern or not? Rajat Sethi.
The voters.
Okay, I'm just going to check on when Mr. Trivedi is going to join us. Yeah, but yeah.
No, you summed it up absolutely perfectly when you said that there are a lot of assumptions, presumptions, ex ante scenario planning that election commission is somehow going to fail and not complete this exercise. Who gave them this information? Election Commission of India is the biggest machinery that operates like clockwork election after election. It is proven. The real problem is not this, Anand. The problem is that for the entire opposition cabal, as soon as documents related question comes in, they have a short circuit in their mind. They just cannot think beyond what is the immediate sort of distorted ideas they have around identity and documentation of those identity, and they jump to conclusions. Here they jumped to three conclusions. A, they immediately said that the election commission should stop the process. But when it came to lawyers to defend before the Supreme Court, not one came out and said that please stop the process. Because that is the constitutional prerogative of this constitutional body, Election Commission. They are bound to do that, and they are bound to do it around the election time. You are not supposed to do updation of these intensive checks on the electoral rolls, say 5 years back. You are supposed to do it around the election time, so that you have the absolute perfectly clean list that is out there to do justice to the election process. And if the justice doesn't happen, the election commission is squarely to be blamed for that. And I think election commission has been very clear, and Supreme Court has been also been very clear. They did not instruct anything. They clearly said that this is the quasi-judicial body. They have well within their terms and the right.
They said the election
which
commission must take
documentation
into
has to be used.
consideration the
And I
Aadhaar
can tell
card,
you,
the
sir, I
voter
did not
identity
come
card.
in when you were talking.
They
Please pass
said
the
no,
courtesy.
they never said must take into consideration. They said please
Precisely.
take into consideration, and if you decide not to do it, please let us know why
Yes,
you will
yes,
not do it.
fine.
Please let us know why. At no point it is the other important.
that means that they are giving
Sudhanshu
credentials
Trivedi
to
ji
the
is with us.
identity card, to
Namaste.
the Aadhaar card, to the
Some
voter card.
concerns of the opposition. Sudhanshu ji, namaste. Jai Hind. Thank you for your time. 11 petitioners, none of them asked for an interim stay. But the concerns being raised is, why did you do Lok Sabha elections with the same voter list in June 2024? Why are you asking for SIR now, just about 2 months before the Bihar elections? What's the motive? That's the first question and the most important question.
It is a usual process that electoral rolls are revised before every election, whether it is a Lok Sabha election or before any state assembly election. So it is being done. Now come to the more specifics. You know, after 2024 Lok Sabha election, Tejasvi Yadav has himself given a complaint to Election Commission that the several duplicate voters have been added in Bihar. Now it is to be ratified and investigated. Now when the ratification is started, you have started raising the brouhaha. You have seen that after sleeping for 8 or 9 months, suddenly Rahul Gandhi got a premonition that in Maharashtra state assembly election, there were so many voters were added. Now, if the election commission is trying to preempt the apprehension of Rahul Gandhi in Bihar election, then still they have started using these type of things. So we are unable to understand what is the matter. You are saying that the electoral rolls are a little bit disturbed, and when we say it should be ratified, you said no. I want to ask one thing. You know, Anand, what is the basic reason? On 9th of February 2025, US President has categorically said that US aide, US Agency for International Development, has spent millions of dollars to increase the voter turnout in India. And he said, I was unable to understand why US aid was interested in increasing the voter turnout. So it has to be clearly understood and it has to be thoroughly taken care of. But the problem is, यहाँ वोट के लिए पैसा चाहिए विदेश से और वोटर चाहिए बांग्लादेश से. The problem is that the vote should come from Videsh, money should come from Videsh. And George Soros has openly said, I have put $1 billion to remove the Modi government. From where this would have been spent. So and again, I'm not saying this just you can say just a lofty, flimsy allegation. In the last election, a very senior leader of Congress party has written an article in Bangladesh's leading newspaper, the Daily Star, with a heading, Modi has to go. When the elections were happening in India, what was the logic of writing in Bangladesh? And now the logic becomes more connected. You know, in the last Lok Sabha election, which seat has got the biggest margin record? It was Dhubri seat of Assam, in which Congress Rakibul Hassan has won by 10,25,000 margin. That is 3 times the margin of Rahul Gandhi, and which is considered to be a bastion of Bangladeshi infiltrators. So now they are thinking that these voters which have come from outside, they have become their basic vote bank, like at the time of Britishers when Mir Jafar was thinking in Bengal that the foreign forces are coming and
But
they ultimately become a tool to produce the power to be. So when it comes in this type of situation it has to be.
Sudhanshu ji, last I know, Dhubri was in Bharat, so is Kishanganj, so is the Simanchal region. It's all in Bharat. So how are these illegals first up coming here? Secondly, how have they got Aadhaar cards and voter IDs? If it is actually
you have raised a
Bangladesh,
very appropriate question.
so how have they got it? Internal security
You have
is not
raised a
the domain of the
very
central
appropriate
government.
question. How they have, yes, sir, no, yes, you have raised a very appropriate question. How they have come? Now I would like to elaborate in just 3 sentences how they have come. In 1983, Indira Gandhi government has made a very draconian law, IMDT Act, in which if you are having a suspect that somebody is outsider, the onus lies on you to prove that he is an outsider from Bangladesh, from such and such place. It is not the onus on him to prove that he is an Indian citizen. And ultimately our leader, Sarvanand Sonowal, has gone to the court, and 2006 Supreme Court struck down the IMDT Act. And its judgment, it has said that it seems to an external aggression over India. And in 2006, Assam governor has given a statement that every day on an average 5,000 Bangladeshi infiltrators are coming. In 2006, in UPA government, the then MOS home, Sri Prakash Jaiswal, has given a statement that around 2 to 3 crore Bangladeshis are already in India. And from there, you can understood that until 2014, how many would have got encircled and settled down. And that's why when the issue of NRC came, everybody has stood up in arms. That no, there should not be checking. और मैं on the lighter note कहूँ, आनंद जी ये तो प्रॉब्लम है, कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे, वक्फ बोर्ड का कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे, सीए में कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे, वोटर लिस्ट का कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे, मगर जब राम मंदिर की बात आएगी तो रामलला से कहेंगे कागज दिखाओ, उसके बाद हम मानेंगे, मगर अपने में कहेंगे हम कोई कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे. दिस इज अ टिपिकल स्टीरियोटाइप माइंडसेट, एंड आई वुड लाइक टू से इट इज अ वेरी डेंजरस प्रेसिडेंस विद द अपोजिशन इज प्लेइंग विद फायर. अरे एक दौर था जो हमारे बड़े बड़े लोग अशफाकुल्ला खान से लेकर राम प्रसाद बिस्मिल और भगत सिंह फांसी के फंदे पे झूम गए कि हमारी जान चली जाए, आने वाली पीढ़ियां राज करेंगी. आज ये लोग कह रहे हैं आज मुझे राज करने दो, आने वाली पीढ़ियां बर्बाद होंगी तो होने दिया जाए. दिस इज द डिफरेंस इन विच इंडिया हैज
बहुत बड़ी बात बोली.
नहीं एक मिनट, वारिस भाई वन सेकंड प्लीज वेट. रविशंकर रवि जी इज वेटिंग ऑफ द आरजेडी. यस, रविशंकर रवि जी प्लीज.
Yes, I'll reply to Sudhanshu because
Anand ji, first of all,
short reply to it.
I'll come back. He's not spoken at all, so I'll just take his comment and then I'll come to you, Varis. Please.
Okay.
Ji.
first of all, the petition was accepted by the Honorable Supreme Court. It proves that the issues that we have been raising, there was some merit in the case, some merit in the petition. That is why it was accepted. And in the observation by the Honorable Court, they have clearly said that the list mentioned in the notification issued by Election Commission is not exhaustive and illustrative. Aadhaar, voter card, okay, Aadhaar is an identity card, it is not a proof for residence, all that is there, but they also observed why not the voter card, and voter card of January 2024. Why the cutoff year is 2003, and in 2003 electoral roll, from that 1 crore voters are no more, 70 lakhs have migrated or settled in other parts of the country. So the issue was what? Nobody was against the revision. The revision is a very normal process. It as I said the other day also on your channel, it happens all through the year. As Sudhanshu ji has also said that before every election it happens. Nobody is against that. But the process and the manner should not be such, and the documents sought should not be such that the uneducated, less educated laborers who do not have proper documents but who were born in this country, and they should be deprived of this exercising their franchise is the issue. And on that, I think the ruling parties should also consider this and support this issue.
Okay, let Sudhanshu ji respond, and then Varis Pathan also wanted to respond to Sudhanshu Trivedi. This about the documents.
Ji. Yes. Just on technical aspect, there are 11 documents have been sought, and any one of this will suffice. Number two, those who are having their name in the voter list prior to 2003 need not to give any document. Number three, those voters whose parents were having name in their pre-2003 list, they need not to give any statement. And now the second point, if several districts are having 24-25% more Aadhaar cards than the population, still people are saying that should not be investigated. I think we will be the only country in the world कि एक के ऊपर सवा और उसके बाद आप कह रहे हैं जांच नहीं होनी चाहिए. जिसे एक हिंदी में कहावत होती है, सत्यानाश नहीं सवा सत्यानाश. तो सवा सत्यानाश करके भी सत्ता मिल जाए तो कोई बुराई नहीं है. इट इज नॉट जस्ट एन इश्यू ऑफ इलेक्टोरल वोट्स, बट दिस इज द इश्यू ऑफ नेशनल सिक्योरिटी ऑल्सो. That how come a district can have 21 to 24 to 25% more voter than the total population?
If you being in government is asking this question, then who will give the answers? If you
allow me.
If you being in government is asking this question, Sudhanshu ji, then who will give the answer?
Yes.
I am surprised.
Anand ji, just one line, you will get a clear answer.
Yeah.
You know, when our government came, this ration card was also having a facade. When it was connected with, it was thoroughly compared, more than 4 crores ration card were found fake. That's why we were saying that NRC should be done with the biometrics connected to Aadhaar card, but they opposed. That biometric connected Aadhaar card should not be used for NRC. If it have been done, then कोई problem ही नहीं होती ना. महाराष्ट्र में कहते हैं कोई दूसरा वोटर है, one country one voter ही होता. मगर क्या बताएं, इनको तो कंट्री के अंदर से वोटर नहीं चाहिए, लीडरशिप भी अब्रॉड से चाहिए और वोटर भी अब्रॉड से चाहिए.
वारिस पठान.
Well, Sudhanshu Trivedi spoke about infiltration, Bangladeshis, Rohingyas, fake Aadhaar cards, fake voter cards. Now, may I ask him, since 11 years plus the government is in power, who's the responsibility? The central government is responsible to ensure that no infiltration takes place. So their failure, now they want to impose it on the people of Bihar or the other places. अरे सुधांशु भाई, अगर वहाँ पर फेक रजिस्ट्रेशन हो रहा था, फेक वोटर कार्ड बन रहे थे, फेक आधार कार्ड बन रहे थे और फेक वोटरों ने आपके हिसाब से वोट डाला, जो आप वोटरों का इंसल्ट कर रहे हो, तो 2024 का जो अभी चुनाव हो गया लोकसभा में, उसमें भी वोट डाला है वोटरों ने. वो वोट का बेनिफिट तो बीजेपी और एनडीए को मिल गया. तो आप क्यों नहीं सत्ता से हट जाते? क्यों नहीं बोलते थे कि ठीक है हम ये इलेक्शन को नहीं मानते और हम हट जाते पीछे? आप है ताकत हिम्मत इतने में कि ठीक है, देयर वर फेक वोटर्स, उन्होंने दे हैव वोटेड फेक, दे आर नॉट एक्चुअल वोटर्स, they have just manipulated the voter card, they have faked the Aadhaar card and they have voted. Then there are several voters who have been voting since the last 2-3 terms. So if in 2024 Lok Sabha election they have voted and you are in power, will you still go and say that yes, they were
same voters also voted in the previous assembly elections जहाँ AIMIM को भी फायदा हुआ सर. Previous assembly election AIMIM को भी फायदा हुआ, तो
फायदा छोड़ो. अरे अभी तो लोकसभा का जो फायदा हुआ बीजेपी को, उसको वो तो फायदा बताओ. सुधांशु
तो सिर्फ बीजेपी नहीं जीती ना, सिर्फ बीजेपी को वोट नहीं पड़े,
जिताया
सिर्फ बीजेपी को वोट नहीं पड़े,
इसलिए हम बड़ा मेहरबानी,
सिर्फ बीजेपी को वोट नहीं पड़े,
हम सत्ता छोड़ रहे हैं.
बाकी सब सिर्फ बीजेपी को वोट नहीं पड़े.
पावर में कौन है?
सिर्फ पावर में होनी हो, सिर्फ बीजेपी को वोट नहीं पड़े ना, सिर्फ बीजेपी को वोट नहीं पड़े. तो will you then say that Mr. Owaisi's win in Hyderabad is also suspect on the same grounds of special intensive revision?
SIR is going on in Bihar. We are talking about Bihar.
So after Bihar it will be Bengal and the election the election commission has said that they are going to do it across the country. Sir, I asked you, you didn't answer the question. In Telangana, 22 lakh voters were struck off the list without a special intensive revision. 22 lakh voters were struck. You didn't go to the Supreme Court.
I think Sudhanshu Trivedi is capable of answering to my question.
but I have also got the capability to ask you questions, sir. I have also got the capability to ask you questions. But yes, Sudhanshu ji, please respond.
May I just quote one point from the Supreme Court?
Sudhanshu ji,
Anand,
respond.
may I just quote for 10 seconds the Supreme Court verbatim what the Supreme Court has said today, Anand?
Anand,
Sudhanshu,
look
just
at
second. The Election Commissioner of India has pointed out that the documents list for verification of voter is 11, but the list is not exhaustive. Therefore, in our prima facie view, since the list is not exhaustive, it would be in the interest of justice for ECI to consider Aadhaar, EPIC.
Yeah, but again, sir, the same very Supreme Court has turned around and said that Aadhaar is not the basis for citizenship. It is only a basis for identity. On that, you cannot give somebody a voter ID card.
Citizenship will be decided
No,
by the government,
sir,
not by the election
sir,
commissioner.
the
That is what
caste,
the
sir,
Supreme Court said.
it is
Supreme Court
impossible.
said
Sir, you
citizenship
please
issue
tell
will
me,
not be decided by the election commissioner.
you please
It
tell
will be
me,
decided
you
by the
please tell me,
government.
you please, sir, you cannot be like a thali ka bengan in this. Where that on one case you will turn around and say, I don't believe in Aadhaar and I will not believe in biometrics and Aadhaar is invasive of privacy. On the other hand, you're saying Aadhaar hai to Aadhaar hi hoga. Aadhaar ko Aadhaar banao. You can't say both. You have to say one of it. Yes, Sudhanshu ji.
देखिए आनंद, you have seen that how the nefarious and notorious desire has slipped out of the mouth of Mr. Waris Pathan. इसको फायदा या उसको फायदा? Here lies the point. They will uphold the dignity of the constitutional institution based on their profit and loss, not on the basis of the transparent, objective evaluation. And we have just completed 50 years of emergency. The same mindset was there, Anand, when Indira Gandhi's election was annulled. She said, constitutional dignity will decide कि हम चुनाव जीते या हारे, इस पे तय होगा. Rahul Gandhi is echoing the same sentiment. The dignity of the constitutional procedure and the constitutional institutions will be decided on the basis of whether I won the election or I lost the election. So on the technical issue, Waris Pathanji, you are a lawyer. You know that which authority is having the
okay. Let's not speak over each other. Let him speak. Let Sudhanshu ji complete and then Waris bhai complete.
Sir, let me complete the sentence. Just one line. अरे भाई मैंने तो आपको और एक्स्ट्रा दे दिया था, आप बीच में बोले जा रहे हैं. और सुनिए तो पावर किसके पास होती है? स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के पास. And maximum number of these fake Aadhaar cards were issued in the UPA ruled state. And this I am not saying. Hemanta Soren, in the last Jharkhand Assembly election, he is a JMM chief minister. He has said कि जो झारखंड में बांग्लादेशी आए हैं सब बंगाल से आए हैं, वेस्ट बंगाल से आए हैं. He has put the blame on Bengal. So how the possibility cannot be the Aadhaar card has been issued there and they have traveled here and you have to just change the address. And there you didn't need any verification or ratification. तो मैं तो सिर्फ इतनी सी बात कह रहा हूं, अगर दिख रहा है तो ये पड़ी हुई मक्खी कौन निकलना चाह रहा है, या उस मक्खी में किसी को शहद नजर आ रहा है इसलिए वो निकलना चाह रहा है, ये मैं पूछना चाहता हूं.
अरे बीजेपी चाहती है पीछे के डोर से एनआरसी लागू करे और 15 से 20% लोगों को सिटीजनशिप उनकी खा जाए.
अच्छा,
उनको खा जाएंगे सिटीजनशिप, क्या करेंगे? क्या भेज देंगे, मार डालेंगे, क्या करेंगे 15 से 20% लोगों का? क्योंकि अगर उनका आपने इलीगल डिक्लेयर कर दिया तो पासपोर्ट भी गया, राशन भी नहीं मिलेगा, उनका आधार कार्ड भी आप इनवैलिड कर दोगे, सिटीजनशिप भी कैंसिल. तो क्या करेंगे उन लोगों का 15 से 20% हमारे बिहारी भाइयों का क्या करने वाली है सरकार?
एक मिनट. See, when you make an argument, you have to back it with facts. First, prove that there will be 15 to 20% of the they are going to be out of the voter list. Waris Pathan. One. Second. You have called all 15.
Illogical बात कर रहे हैं.
And you have also said that all of them are Bihari. All of them are Bihari. Please tell me what is the fact or what is the number or what is the proof that you have that
they are not Bihari.
That there will be 15 to 20% and they are Bihari, Waris Pathan. That's what you said. 15 to 20% anyway, logically that number is not possible.
What is the proof?
That number is not possible based. Sir, 1 minute. That number is not.
Allow me.
I will.
What proof and data do you have to show that Aadhaar card? Aadhaar cards are increased in Simachal area.
Sir,
what proof and evidence? मैं आपको पूछ रहा हूँ सवाल ना, आप मुझे बताओ, आप डेटा बता रहे हो ना कि 100 लोगों के अंदर है आधार कार्ड 120 हो गए. UID है तो बोलता है कि आप डेटा दिखाई नहीं सकते.
आपका क्वेश्चन
आप ये डेटा कहां से लेकर आए देश के सामने, बताओ।
आपका क्वेश्चन, आपका
सुधांशु भाई जवाब दो। अरे आप मेरे क्वेश्चन में गोल गोल घूम गए, आपके पास कोई जवाब नहीं है। आनंद, बैक ऑफ द माइंड यू नो एसआईआर इज रॉन्ग। आनंद, पीछे आपके माइंड को मालूम है बीजेपी की मंशा क्या है।
सर
आनंद, आई नो यू सिंस 10 इयर्स।
प्लीज यू आर
आनंद, मैं आपको
वेल राइट मैन, लेट्स नॉट प्ले दिस गेम, it's not going to work. What I am trying to tell you, 1 minute sir, what I am trying to tell you is sir, 2003 base पे there are already 5 crore voters out of the 7.9 crore voters. Also the fact that the enumeration forms that have been collected are nearly 5.5 crore, 5.2 crore already enumeration forms. 66% have been collected. Another 20%.
What about those who are working in Mumbai?
Sir, your thing about 15 to 20% that does not hold is what I am trying to tell you. You ask your question. 1 minute. This 15 to 20% if and therefore and supposition will not work because logically it doesn't work, sir. Logically that number doesn't work. Now, but 1 minute, sir. Sir, let's not.
They will lose their voter cards.
Waris Pathan, please.
They will lose their power to vote.
Please.
What is that?
सुधांशु त्रिवेदी, प्लीज। 100 में से 125 ये नंबर कहां से आया आधार का, ये बताइए। दैट इज व्हाट इज आस्किंग, ये नंबर आया कहां से, प्लीज। हाउ डू यू नो?
किसने लिख किया, नाम बताओ।
This has been very much there in the public domain. It is in public domain since last several days. It is not that anything conspicuous and unique which I have projected. Then in the Seemanchal districts of Purnia, Araria and others, in Purnia district, Kishanganj district, it is 125% Aadhaar card are there as compared to population. और वैसे मैं एक और बात बता दूं, जो इन्होंने कहा बिहारी कोई होगा तो उसको तो प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं होगी आइडेंटिटी प्रूफ करने में। आनंद जी, आपको पता है बिहार में तो एक ऐसी जगह जो पूरे ऑल ओवर इंडिया का 2003 नहीं, 1803 नहीं, 1603 का भी डाटा बता देगा। गया में लोग जाते हैं और वो जाइए तो जाके आपको दिखाई पड़ेगा कि 300 साल पहले भी आपके पूर्वज आए थे तो उसका रिकॉर्ड अवेलेबल होगा। आई वुड लाइक टू रिमाइंड, राहुल गांधी वेंट टू चित्रकूट इन 2005 एंड 6, जहां पर कि एक पंडे ने दिखाया कि 1902 में मोतीलाल नेहरू गए थे और मोतीलाल नेहरू के सिग्नेचर भी थे। आई माई सेल्फ रिमेंबर दैट आई रेड इन दिस न्यूज इन द न्यूज़पेपर एंड राहुल गांधी गॉट इमोशनल कि मोतीलाल नेहरू के वहां के ऊपर साइन अवेलेबल है। तो मैं कहना चाहता हूं वारिस भाई, जो बिहार का मुसलमान होगा ना, वो भी गया में जाके चेक करेगा तो 300-400 साल पहले के उसके मिल जाएंगे ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड। बिहारी को प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ये प्रॉब्लम बाहर वाले को है। इसलिए जो मारा मारी है वो बिहारी के लिए नहीं है, ये मारा मारी बांग्लादेशी और रोहिंग्या के लिए।
These are the two places where had an objection to the argument made by Waris Pathan. One way, Rajat Sethi.
I am reading from this. I did not make it at my home.
What are you reading?
He said the secrecy.
What?
No, Aadhaar details including documents used to obtain it should not be made public or shared on public social media or other public platforms.
No, they are not being there is no Aadhaar details, sir. It's not Aadhaar details, sir. It is total number.
It is not Aadhaar detail.
अरे बाप रे बाप, he himself is laughing. He himself is laughing on this argument. Sir, you are a lawyer. You can't even mask your own laughter. There is no. Sir, if there are a total number, it's in public domain. It is not top secret. It is not top secret, sir. One district. One minute. Sir, this is public domain. One district, one Aadhaar center. How many Aadhars are issued? The total number is public domain. Data is available, sir. That data can be got that from a particular Aadhaar center or in a particular district. How many Aadhars are in the district? And if you map that with the population number or the local population as this side, you will get, sir, it is simple common sense. इसमें कोई privacy नहीं है, इसमें कोई privacy नहीं। Sir, this is irresponsible। हाँ जी, सुधांशु जी and then Rajat Sethi। अरे कोई बैकफुट नहीं है सर, हम पंच बैकफुट से भी मार सकते हैं और फ्रंट फुट पे भी आके लॉफ्ट कर सकते हैं। दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम सर, वो भी दिखा देंगे आपको। बट द पॉइंट इज सर, you should not throw a full toss thinking it's a googly, it will go out of the park. That's what happens. You think it's a googly, it's a full toss, and it will be hit out of the park. That's what's happened. Yes, Sudhanshu ji. Yes, Sudhanshu ji.
जिस ढंग का लॉजिक रखा वारिस पठान ने, और वारिस पठान का उसके बाद जो चेहरा था, तो मुझे एक शेर याद आ गया वारिस पठान जी का चेहरा देख के कि वो पैरवी तो झूठ की करता चला गया, बस उसका चेहरा उतरता चला गया। वो पैरवी तो झूठ की करता चला गया, बस उसका चेहरा उतरता चला गया। और रंगत समझ में आई मगर आई देर से, कच्चा था बहुत रंग उतरता चला गया।
ये रोते भी ये रोते भी हंसते हुए हैं
वहाँ क्या चल रहा है,
ये रोते भी नहीं अरे रुकिए, अरे आप लोग वरिष्ठ हैं, मत करिए ऐसा. बट रजत सेठी, प्लीज टेल मी, इज देयर एनी लॉजिक? माय पॉइंट इज, इफ देयर वाज अ जेन्युइन कंसर्न अमंग द पीपल, either the opposition should now say that they believe in the Aadhaar process and the biometric process and make that the base for all verification, or they should turn around and say no, what we are saying is wrong. There are 11 documents plus the fact of your vanshaj, in the sense lineage. If your parents are there in the 2003 list, as Sudhanshu ji said, there is no problem. And Bihar of all places where the voters take their vote and their voter card very seriously. There will be more Biharis with 3 voter IDs because they don't want to leave their Bihar voting, or 2 voter IDs. They'll never give it up.
See, this is absolutely, you can't be playing on both the sides. On Maharashtra issue, you said a lot of fake voters are there. And on this issue, you are saying, oh my God, now you're looking at the sanity of these checks and not trying to remove extra. You're trying to basically, Congress party themselves internally, Rahul Gandhi is also not clear on this issue. He has so far, he keeps blabbering on the Maharashtra issue internationally and other various universities around the globe. Has he ever taken the effort to actually present the facts as to how has the Maharashtra election been compromised because of voter issues? Has he presented an iota of evidence of one booth? Forget about the entire state. Pick up one booth and present the facts before the Supreme Court and before the public. Why does he always have to talk in rhetoric terms and not when we are all educated people out here and can present the facts and convince us on facts that this is what it is? And again, Anand, what has happened in the state of Assam? Supreme Court ensured, that the process of evaluation of the fake voters is done. The lineage was the principal basis on which the entire NRC process was also conducted. Supreme Court monitored the entire process. So this process of identifying the lineage, not using the previous epic card, because if you were to just justify the previous epic card, then what is the whole purpose of SIR? If you want to you can just carry forward that same voter list. So that is also illogical. So what Election Commission has said through these 11 documents that they want is actually logical. Now, if you want to oppose all logic, you can continue to do that. There is no end in sight. And finally, what Varis Pathanji, for Muslims, I can tell you, they are very good at documentation. Even in Assam, when we were trying to identify Bangladeshis who came in and settled into Assam had far more documents than even the Hindus had.
It's just that जब वो सिर्फ सर ऐसा कुछ लोग हैं जो सारे कागज बनवाएंगे पर जब मांगे तो कागज नहीं दिखाएंगे, बट कागज सारे बनवाएंगे. वो हैं सर, ऐसे भी हैं हमारे देश में जो ऐसा उनका एटीट्यूड है. दैट्स देयर. बट रविशंकर रवि जी, आई जस्ट हैव वन क्वेश्चन. ये बिहारी अस्मिता में बाहरी वोट कहां से आ गया? आप कोई नॉन बिहारी का वोट लेकर के चुनाव जीतना और चुनाव में एडवांस लेना, ये बिहार की तो अस्मिता के खिलाफ है.
आपने बदनाम कर दिया ना.
बदनाम
बिहारी के पास तो 2-2, 3-3 वोटर हो सकते हैं.
वो तो है सर, है सर, ये रियलिटी है
ना. बयान है. आप मत see. I had thought that your channel would be probably different, but I think it is the part of the same ecosystem.
I'm telling you, I'm also saying that it is not right. I'm also saying it is not right. I'm also saying that democratically it is wrong for anybody to have 2 voter cards, but I'm also saying that there are people from Bihar who have 2 voter cards.
What is the issue under consideration? You talked about data. The documents which are there in the list, which the Election Commission is seeking, passport, some of them, passport, birth certificate, government and pensioner card, matriculation, and caste certificates. Very few percentage of people are having this data.
ये भी फिर देखिए, मे बी देयरफॉर का गेम खेल रहे हैं आप. आप 4 पढ़ के 11 में से, नो सर, यू आर रीडिंग, नो रविशंकर जी, you are reading 4, no, you are reading only 4 out of 11 and then saying how can so many people have 4? They have to present only one of these documents, sir. They have to present only one of these documents. So then it's unfair. Let me ask you, how many of the RJD cadre are actually helping the voters get their voter ID done? 35,000 तो आपका cadre है ground पर. 35,000 is your own cadre who are helping the voters get their fill up their enumeration forms.
There are landless laborers.
Sir, you are helping
that
everybody. Sir, every party is helping every single person who is from Bihar, who has any of these 11 documents. Every single party, 1.5 lakh से ज़्यादा तो party के cadre हैं. 4 lakh तो volunteer है of the ECI. They are helping these people. Then what is the argument that you are making? Ravi Shankar ji, I am running out of time, but Sudhanshu ji, final question.
नहीं है कि आपको नहीं बोलने देना है.
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है सर, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. मैं ये कह रहा हूं, अगर ऐसा है तो तेजस्वी जी ने क्यों बोला डुप्लीकेट वोटिंग हो रहा है? बोलिए तो तेजस्वी जी ने नहीं बोला. फिर आप ये बताइए, जितने याचिका करता है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, उन्होंने क्यों नहीं कहा कि स्टे करा दीजिए, बंद कराइए इसको? किसी ने भी स्टे की डिमांड नहीं की. फिर क्यों आपका आरजेडी का काडर ग्राउंड पर मदद कर रहा है सबकी वोटर आईडी कार्ड बनाने में?
भाई हम प्रोसेस को डिसमेंटल नहीं करना चाहते ना.
तो फिर आप जिस चीज को आप किसी चीज को किस तथ्य के आधार पर आप बेस कर आधार को आधार बना रहे हैं? अगर आधार कहीं और बनवा के यहां पर फर्जी एड्रेस चेंज करवाया गया है, तो क्या ऐसे वोटर को वोट करने का मौका दिया जाना चाहिए? इट्स अ फेयर क्वेश्चन टू आस्क. Shouldn't be verified. Sudhanshu ji, my final question. I think one of the questions that's been asked is, why so close to the election? This could have been done even on the 1st of January 2025. It could have been started even on the 1st of April 2025. Why do it in July when elections are supposed to be in end October, early November?
You yourself have given an answer. Is it how close to election? Normally, the stipulated time of polling is 35 days before the polling date. So, if there is 2-3 phase election, it may be at least 45 days. So, if you end of the October, then the process would start with the mid of the September.
Right.
And we are sitting, the process started in June. Who is saying that it is so close to election? Actually, the matter is not so close to election, the matter is so close to their heart.
Right.
Because यहाँ पर आनंद जी जानते क्या मामला है? ये इबारते बाबा साहब अंबेडकर, जो संविधान की इबारत है, इबारते संविधान को इमारते शरिया में बदलना चाहते हैं. अदरवाइज ये मुझे बता दें एक लाइन में सिर्फ, what is the job opportunity in the districts like Purnia and Kishanganj that 20-25% extra population is there and having more job opportunity than Delhi and Mumbai? On one side, you are saying that the people are going out of Bihar. There is a heavy influx outside Bihar for seeking job. But in certain districts, there is a heavy influx inside. I think the learned panelists which are sitting here can tell me कि ये आइंस्टीन का कौन सा लॉ है या ये न्यूटन का कौन सा लॉ है जो एक जगह दूसरा काम करता है और दूसरी जगह दूसरा काम करता है, और जब उसको क्रॉस चेक करने की बात करो तो उसके बाद जाके डिस्टर्बेंस करता है.
सर, ये मे बी एंड देयरफॉर वाला लॉजिक है सर. But let's hope that there are enough and there is no voter.
No, sir, this is a simple logic. You show me the situation, I will show you the rule. One thing, there is a famous proverb, you show me the face, I will show you the rule. Anand, in this case, you show me the situation, I will interpret the constitution.
Well, we'll have to wait till the 24th
मैं
of July.
बताता हूँ सिचुएशन. सीमांचल देश का सबसे पिछड़ा हुआ वर्ग है क्योंकि वहाँ पे मुसलमान की आबादी ज्यादा है. आपने उसको डेवलप ही नहीं किया. सीमांचल का स्टेटस मांगने की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, आप उसको करते नहीं है. मुसलमानों का जो आपने यूनिवर्सिटी का ग्रांट था वो आपने खत्म कर दिया. वहाँ पे आज भी लोगों के पास दे डोंट हैव 2 times food to eat, they don't have money. इतना पिछड़ा आपने वर्क कर दिया सीमांचल को. कोई डेवलपमेंट विकास
even if there are 68%,
कोई भी सरकार हो, आपकी सरकार हो, आरजेडी हो, कोई भी, सबके लिए बता रहा हूं.
तो 32% non-Muslims भी हैं सर. So don't make it only about Muslims.
अरे तो
I'm going to use your own
68%
logic.
है,
I'm going to make you. I'm going to use your own logic, sir. I'm going to
32%
use your own
होगा
logic and
मुसलमान
then turn it
का
back
अब
at
तक.
you, sir. I'm going to turn it back at you. Let's make it about
अगर
every
32% होगा
every single Bharatiya. The vote, right to vote, has to be for every single Bharatiya. Bharatiya is important. That's where we got to stop it. That's the collective responsibility of all of us. We don't want votes of non-Bharatiya. We want votes of all Bharatiya. That's all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to all our panelists. Waris Pathan stays on as we shift focus to yet another big exclusive and big development. The grooming gangs of Bharat continue to be unmasked, and what is coming to light is a well-oiled and well-funded conversion racket that spans the country with links to Islamist hotbeds in the Middle East. In Uttar Pradesh, Jalaluddin, also known as Changur Baba, has been exposed for running a vast religious conversion racket and has been remanded to 7-day custody, ATS custody. He is accused of luring vulnerable Hindu and Sikh girls and financial incentives and then threatening and harassing them to convert to Islam. after which they are trafficked across the country and the globe. Bulldozer action is currently underway in Changur Baba's assets, over 100 crore. These pictures are coming from Balrampur, where his palace has been demolished. The Enforcement Directorate now has also entered into the fray. According to ED sources, the agency is now seeking the kingpin's custody and collecting income tax returns for the last 10 years out of 40 entities allegedly created and operated by Jalaluddin and his associates, putting the lens on his opulent criminal empire. More inputs coming through. Let's have a look at this. In what intelligence officials are now saying, they are describing this as a long-term, non-violent campaign of demographic manipulation. Islamist syndicates based in Bharat and abroad have been systematically targeting Hindu girls through digital platforms like Telegram, Instagram, Tinder, and also Zakat money. The strategy forms part of a 40-year-old ideological plan devised by Pakistan-based Barelvi and Deobandi networks. Covert religious indoctrination and foreign funding is being used to orchestrate religious conversions and reshape Bharat's demographic. According to top intelligence sources, they are using a soft jihad strategy of non-violent Islamization. Telegram metadata, as analyzed by agencies, shows time zone patterns linked to the UAE and Qatar, indicating the involvement of foreign handlers directing operations from the Gulf. The deliberate push is to increase Muslim population via conversions. And according to top intelligence sources, this soft jihad is done by circulation of ideological texts like Ghazwa-e-Hind and involves psychological and spiritual manipulation rather than overt terrorism. The process begins with religious grooming via videos, many of which have lectures of Anwar al-Awlaki and also Zakir Naik, promoting the idea of Islam as superior and inevitable. The financial transfers peaked after 2020 Ayodhya Bhumi Pujan and post the 2020 hijab protests in Karnataka. Young Hindu girls, particularly those between the ages of 15 and 24, are primary targets of this operation. Intelligence sources also say these girls, often ambitious and from lower middle class backgrounds, are approached with false promises of love, career, support and also marriage, largely through social media. Instagram, Signal, Telegram are all used for contacting girls, and dating apps like Tinder are also being used. Radicalization starts with religious grooming videos, fake madrasa, NGO trust chains, and make the fund inflow into very, very hard to trace. Money is laundered through cooperative banks, and UPI-based donations are also used. UPI ID is used, and even cryptocurrency wallets connected to donors in the Gulf. Sources indicate that funds are routed through Hawala networks via Nepal, Bangladesh and Dubai. Sharad Trivedi, spokesperson of the Uttar Pradesh BJP with us. Waris Pathan, spokesperson of the AIMIM with us. This is a calibrated, calculated move. Sharad Trivedi ji, Waris Pathan ji, namaste. 40-year-old ideology, and there are many more such grooming gangs. Sharad ji, your thoughts? 15 साल से ये Changur Baba खुद ही operate कर रहा था. He was operating. How and why? In Uttar Pradesh.
The largest empire of its time was the Persian Empire, which started from the western coast of west border of Egypt to the western border of India. And that empire suddenly decided to convert, and the entire empire was converted within 300 years. And now the only people who are the brave ones are in India. All the scared ones got converted there. And I can even say that Mr. Pathan, my friend, he himself is a former Hindu, because the sage Vijwa, his name is mentioned in Rigved. Sage Vishwamitra organized 10 kings to fight Suryas, and out of the 10 kings, one was Pathan. So it comes from the word Pashtun. The Pashta is the root word, and it comes from the word, and the word is developed into Pashtun, and now it is Pathan. So now the war cannot be used as a mode of conversion. Now the soft conversion is the only hope for the conversion into Islam. And we have not coined the word love jihad. It has been coined by the Catholic Christian Church in Kerala, and judgment has been passed by the Kerala High Court. And now the problem with these people is that the only mode of conversion is getting money from abroad. Either incentive or inducement or threat has to be used to get them converted. All kinds of techniques are being used, and the money is being coming from abroad. So
but it's been happening. It's been happening nearly 10 years is under Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and the BJP. So how have they been able to proliferate and operate over the last decade? Right under the very nose of the administration.
We do not lay the trap. The person is not arrested the day he's seen. We have to lay the trap. We have to organize the entire network, connect the dots, and then get these people. Otherwise, we won't have any evidence. They'll just vanish into the blue. So it is important that we get the entire network, the entire connection, all the Hawala transactions that have been taken place. They have been observed over a period of time, and then we trap these people down. And
okay, so let me ask Waris Pathan this. In Pune, he's bought a property worth 16 crore. There were operations in Mumbai. This person is spread to a level starting from selling some small ganda and lockets and taweez and all of that. From there, he has 3 biga of land and a huge palace and about 100 crore across 40 different accounts and entities that he set up. Waris Pathan. And he's just one of the many such people.
Well, Anand, there are two things I will like to explain. The first and foremost thing is that on the conversion issue, Article 25 allows a person to practice religion of his own choice. But if somebody tries to force him or to force, duress or threats, if somebody is doing, the law of the land is there to take care of it, and we should wait for that. Now the thing is that if 100 crore rupees were in his account, what was the ATS UP doing? They were sleeping. If he made a 40-room building, what were the UP government doing? What were they doing? Were they sleeping or they were taking money of corruption? Nothing. Now, second important crucial point, Anand, here is that the bulldozer politics which the Yogi government did. Supreme Court has time again said that the country will run by the rule of law. You have to follow the constitution and the due process of law. You cannot use the bulldozer politics in the country. The Supreme Court has gone ahead and said, even if a person is found to be guilty of the offence, you cannot, without following the due process law, go and bulldoze his home, because you are not punishing only one person, you are punishing his entire family. But the Yogi government, Yogi has become the chief minister by taking oath on the constitution, but he does not follow the constitution, and these are unconstitutional things. Yesterday itself, 7 bulldozers were sent to his premises to bulldozer his premises. See, I don't say that if he is guilty, punish him, hang him, but you have to follow the due process of tomorrow. Everything happens like that. Because the second aspect of the thing is that when there are Muslims involved, Anand, the first thing which the UP government does is go with the bulldozer or anywhere. We have seen that the Muslims are the main target of the bulldozers, whether in Delhi, Prayagraj, anywhere we have seen.
Okay, let Sharad Trivedi answer this part.
Are there. If this was illegal authorized, it was an illegal authorized structure. My simple question is, what was the UP government doing for the last 11 years which they are into power? 8.5 years they are in power in the UP state. Were they sleeping?
Right.
If the permission was not there, how could a man build a 40-room mansion? So this everything has to be taken into consideration. Now to shy away from their failure, they are coming up with this theory that no, he was doing that. Whatever he is doing, if he was illegal.
Will you yield so he can respond?
Asaram, Guru Ram Rahim, did you bulldoze their home? They have cheated so many girls. We all know this is before the media, this is before the entire nation. But no coercive steps have been taken against them to bulldoze their homes or to bulldoze them. 128 people died in stampede in that UP itself.
Right.
What did they do to the Maharaj who was there? He's already out on bail also. Nothing happened to him. So only you target a particular community, Muslims, and then you come before the nation and you start crying.
Okay, Sharad ji, please respond.
The problem is that when action is taken against anybody, the religion is brought into the picture by the opposition. When Vikas Dubey's house was demolished, when Ankit Jat's house was demolished, Ajay Mishra's house was demolished, Akash Gujar's house was demolished, there was no problem. The only problem is that when one particular community is hit, then all hell breaks loose. We have demolished the house of one of our workers in...
if you don't follow the rule of law, then all hell broke loose. If you don't follow the rule of law, if you don't follow the Supreme Court guidelines,
by dynamite, not
then we object.
Dynamite and destroying his house.
Let's not speak
The
over
only
each other.
trouble
Let
is
him
that
complete and you respond. I won't talk.
that's one particular community, then the whole hell breaks loose. The issue here is the question of conversion. The profiling when the police has done, we have seen that most of the people who are impressed with Islam and get converted are under the age of 20. Those who get converted are generally girls. Those who of the girls who are getting converted are illiterate. We have not seen anybody, a PhD or a 80-year-old lady getting converted. This is simply exploiting the condition of these underprivileged people to get them converted into a religion.
But his question is that this bulldozer action seems to be targeted, seems to be limited. When it comes to a Muslim offender or an offender who's Muslim by faith, that's when the hard action happens. Even in this case, the bulldozer have been sent, and his house, how did he build this house? And it was right under the nose of the administration. So why bulldoze now? Why when you allowed him to build? That's a question Waris Pathan has asked, Sharadji.
As I have already said, that we do not get into action. We don't go in for the kill the moment we get the information. We have to develop the information. We have an international tracking system. We have to get the internet on it. We have to get ground intelligence. We have to get LIU on the job. After we get the entire network, we have to pack up the whole, not just the kingpin, the entire gang. There's a whole network operating.
Okay. So you're saying it takes time, and around that time he was able to build this empire.
Building.
Yes, Waris Pathan.
Well, no logic in his statement, Anand. No facts, no detail, only like this just going on. The thing is, 40-room building came up in UP. 40 room. And you want the intelligence report
45, sir,
or
45.
the report from your municipal corporation or from the administration. You want a report from the intelligence. Your administration, this clearly shows the UP administration's failure in preventing corruption. And if such a place has come, now they said illegal, this was unauthorized. If it was unauthorized, what were you doing for 8.5 years? You want an intelligence input for that? And what did you do now? Whether, Anand, I am asking a simple question, will the BJP follow the rule of law, or will they follow the Thok Dalunga wala policy, all this bulldozer policy?
Think if this kind of thing, okay, one thing, Waris Pathan,
everybody has to follow the rule of law. And the constitution says so.
Okay, one thing, Waris Pathan, even in this Balrampur, this over the 3 bighas, this palace, the portions which are illegal are the ones that have been broken down. The portion or the acreage or footage, square footage that is legally allowed still stands. But
room building
one minute.
Comes up in a day.
Let me redirect. Part two is towards Sharadji. But the point is, Sharad Trivedi, whoever broke this, whoever allowed this to be built, what action are you going to take with that against that person is what Waris Pathan is asking. If it was illegal, it was extra construction, wo galat tha. Whether that person is a criminal or not, whether it is proceeds of crime or not, it is immaterial. If it is illegal construction, it should be demolished. Why demolish it only after he's been caught doing something illegal? That's another question. And what about those who allowed this to be built? Unke khilaf kya action liya, Sharadji?
This structure was constructed before we came into power in Uttar Pradesh, and we do not go with the lens
blame game
onto the ground, hunting every person down the moment.
Absurd argument.
Illegal and going to destroy.
Absolutely absurd argument.
Some information comes that illegal activities taking
place. You mean to say this 8.5 years you did not know that some illegal unauthorized construction is going on?
We have got the CBI into it. We have got the state police into it. Now we are going to connect the dots.
That is afterthought. That is afterwards.
Okay, I've run out of time. One of the aspects is if these elements are nefarious elements are working and there were people within the administration who turned a blind eye to their activities, what kind of punishment should be meted out to them? Should they not be pulled up? Should they not be suspended? Should they not be show-caused? And should their proceeds, if they have received any, not be bulldozed too? That's the question. And we'll continue to track the grooming gangs across Bharat because there are more. And in the coming days, we will unearth and also bring to the fore some of these operators who've been flying under the radar all these years and preying on innocent women, trying to convert, radicalize, and also then turn them towards down the path of terrorism. Thank you for watching.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
US President Donald Trump on Wednesday announced a 50% tariff on all Brazilian products starting from August 1st. He also called the trial of former President Bolsonaro a witch hunt and an international disgrace. Now, Trump accused Brazil of undermining free elections and American free speech through secret censorship orders. He has also said that a 50% tariff on all Brazilian goods would begin August 1st. Now, this didn't sit well with Brazilian President Lula da Silva, who has lashed out at Donald Trump. This is the breaking input that we are getting for you, where we are learning that US President Donald Trump has now imposed 50% tariff on all the Brazilian products, and this will start from August 1st. I'm being joined by CNN News 18's Akansha Swaroop. Akansha, what would have prompted Donald Trump to impose a 50% tariff on Brazil?
Right. Remember, he's really been riled up by the Brazilian President Lula da Silva, and we all know that this is also being used now as a pressure tactic by the US President, who's now also referred to how his predecessor, Lula da Silva's predecessor, Jair, who's the far-right leader, Jair Bolsonaro, has been a victim of a witch hunt. Donald Trump called on Brazilian authorities to halt Bolsonaro's prosecution over an alleged coup attempt. And of course, we all know that it was Brazil that played host to the recently concluded BRICS summit, where the declaration also not just mentioned the rising tariffs, but also condemned the airstrikes on Iran. And that was a direct reference to the United States and Israel both. But most importantly, it was the Brazilian president, Ayesha, who actually condemned the US president for the tariffs when he directly hit out saying that the world does not need an emperor. So this kind of a spat that we are seeing between the Brazilian president and the US president has been in the making for quite a few days. Remember, Donald Trump has slapped 50% tariffs, and in that letter that he's addressed to the Brazilian president, he also goes on to talk about how if Brazil chooses to come up with reciprocal tariffs, which as the Brazilian president already has announced in that post that he's taken a shot on X, because he said, according to the Brazilian president, their own rule of reciprocity will kick in after these 50% tariffs being slapped by the United States. And so the US president to that has already made it amply clear that depending on whatever reciprocal tariffs Brazil slapped them with, there will be additional 50% tariffs to this. Now, remember, the Brazilian president has already highlighted that as far as the talk of trade deficit is concerned, that is false, because they already have a trade surplus of close to $450 billion with the United States. So Brazil's Lula is not mincing any words, or he's not going to be bowed down by the US president. He's taking him head on in that entire post that he's shared on X, where he's in fact gone on to condemn the US president, saying that Brazil is a sovereign country with independent institutions and they will not accept being tutored by anyone. This is, of course, to do with how President Donald Trump called upon the Brazilian judiciary to stop the witch hunt against the former Brazilian president, Jair Bolsonaro. And that's why, and with regards to tariffs, this is also what the Brazilian president has said, that the statistics from US government itself confirm a surplus of the country in the trade of goods and services with Brazil, which, as I highlighted, is over $400 billion just over the last 15 years. So in this sense, any measure to increase tariffs unilaterally will be responded by Brazil, because Brazil's law of economic reciprocity will now kick in.
All right, Akansha, thank you so much for bringing us those inputs this morning. We now move on to some reactions that we have been tracking for our viewers.
President Trump has announced a 50% tariff rate for Brazil on top of a number of new tariffs announced on a number of countries earlier through the day on Wednesday. So that is now 22 countries that have so far got those letters from White House announcing those high tariffs, 14 on Monday and another 8 on Wednesday, Brazil the last in that lot. On Brazil, the rate has been raised from the lowest of 10% to now the highest of 50%. And the reason for that earlier low tariff rate of 10% on Brazil announced on April the 2nd was that it's one of few countries with which the US has a trade surplus. And Trump has spoken long and loud against trade deficits that he has made a reason for his tariffs policy. But with Brazil, all that has counted for nothing. And
hello, namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. Tonight we tell you the story of a chip maker that is eating the world. Nvidia has become the first $4 trillion company, the world's first ever. What does that mean? Is this the peak of the AI gold rush or just the beginning? We will decode the new world order of tech. We'll also tell you about Donald Trump. He's back with tariffs and tantrums. They are political and ridiculous, helping neither America nor the world. Also, he asked African leaders, where did you learn to speak English? And then he tried to charm the continent. Did it work? We will discuss. On the other side of the globe, Taiwan has launched its biggest ever war games. Will this deter China or provoke it further? Meanwhile, the Red Sea is on fire. Houthis have now sunk 2 more ships. Global shipping is under siege and no one seems to have a solution. In Kenya, the protests have turned deadly. What does it mean for President Ruto? In Europe, a nuclear shift. Britain and France strike a deal. Is this the start of a European nuclear umbrella, independent of America? Also tonight, Russia's vodka problem. Production is falling. What's behind this decline in the national spirit? And on this Guru Purnima, who are the guiding lights in our lives? What makes a teacher timeless? All this and more coming up. The headline.